Can we prove that Christianity is true? There seems to be a lot of Christian apologists who think that we can prove that Christianity is true, but I don't think you're going to like my answer, because I am not completely convinced that we can prove that Christianity is true. Wait a minute. Does that mean I no longer believe in Christianity, that I've given up on the Bible, that I've given up on Jesus and God and all of those things? Absolutely not. In fact, I am more convinced of the truth of Christianity now than when I first became a Christian. I have come to really accept that there is good reason for us to believe who Jesus says that he is and what he has done for us. So what do I mean when I say that I'm not convinced that you can prove Christianity is true? Because there would be a lot of people who would say, well, there are plenty of philosophical arguments that you can demonstrate that seem to prove that God exists, that seem to demonstrate that what we say about God is the truth. There would be people who would say there is archaeological evidence that proves that the Bible is true. And I would just want to take a step back and to acknowledge that there is always a counter argument. For every philosophical argument for the existence of God, there's another argument against that. For every bit of archaeological evidence and historical description of what has happened in the past, there are those who have a different view as well. Now, I am not saying that the whole attempt to understand what is true is just a waste of time. I think it's important for us to study philosophy. I think it's good for us to look at science and to look at history and archaeology and all of these other things. But when it comes to proving beyond any shadow of a doubt, I think that we're finding ourselves in a difficult position. Not because the arguments for Christianity are weak, but because that's just the way life is. I would say absolutely the same thing if someone tried to say that they could prove that atheism was true. I don't think that you can prove that either. I think the best that we can do as Christians and as Christian apologists is to look at the evidence, to look at the reasons that have been put forward, to look at the philosophy, to look at the Bible, to look at our experience and all of the other things that are offered as evidence for belief in God and for belief in the death and resurrection of Jesus, that we look at all of those things and we weigh the evidence. We have to look in terms of probabilities. Now, you might be thinking, no, wait a minute, I am 100% convinced. I know that this is all true, beyond any shadow of a doubt. Well, I'm not going to argue with you because I don't know what's going on inside you. But I know for myself and for many of the people that I've talked to that we really have to deal with probabilities. And when it comes down to it, there is a place for faith. I believe the evidence for the resurrection of Jesus is very good. I think it is more convincing than any of the alternatives to explain what happened with the early Christians and why they thought that Jesus has risen. But I wasn't there physically. I did not look at Jesus walking out of the tomb. I cannot know for 100%. And that's true about just about everything else in our Christian faith. Now, again, I want to emphasize, I am not suggesting that believing in Christianity, to believe in Jesus, that's like throwing a dart at a dartboard. It's just random choice of a worldview that it could have been that, could have been anything else. I really do believe that the evidence for Christianity is stronger than any of the other worldviews that are out there. But it's about evidence, it's about probability. It is not about proof, not in any other way. And before Christians get worked up that puts their faith in danger, the truth is we can prove very little about what has happened in the past. We can not know for sure lots of things. We look at the evidence that is available to us, and we sort through that, and we can say these things are facts, but really we're talking about probabilities and evidence. And that's just the way life works, and that might not be the way we want it to be, but that's the way life is. And I would encourage you, whatever religious or spiritual background you belong to look at the evidence and to weigh both sides and to determine what it is that you are convinced is the truth, and to follow that. That's all that we can do as human beings and as people who are seeking the truth. I hope that you will come and visit me at my website, stephenjbedard.com. Thank you, and God bless.